Hello there, welcome to another episode of the Valkyria Chronicles with Ungainly Titan. So we're continuing on from last week, where we had managed to destroy the second radiator of the Batomys and reduce it now down to one radiator. So if it fires the big gun again, that radiator will pop up. We destroy that radiator, it should make the Batomys vulnerable to regular anti-tank fire, and it also should render that front gun useless as far as I know. Salvaria, however, has arrived and is in position, should we say, to escort the Batomys as it continues forward into the Galleon, towards the Galleon base, and she has a couple of troopers with her to escort her, including these two shock troopers. Now we managed to eliminate the two shock troopers with a mortar round, so I'm moving the Edelweiss back, and I want to bring down this wall that I'm passing under as another obstacle. So that means that there's two walls between the Batomys and the final base. There's one behind me, there's this one which I will bring down shortly, and that'll leave me three walls, so I'd have to fire the gun 3 times. Otherwise I'm not sure if it would be able to get through them. So I may have been able to prevent it from taking out the base. However, we still have to take out the remaining radiator. And that is a problem also, because now that it'll fire, I have to get a trooper back onto it, and I have to do so with Salvaria present and the scout as well. What's his name? Canvar, the whatever. So we now have a small number of movement points left, and I just want to put people out of range of into more safer locations, so to speak. So Carl is pretty exposed here, and if possible I want to rescue Ramsey as well, bring her back. Now I don't know what was stopping Carl from moving there. I think it was just a small rock protruding out, I couldn't walk past it. There is Ramsey, but I don't want to expose Carl to fire. Don't trigger the aggro from the enemy scout, and I don't get into the line of sight Salvaria, so she doesn't trigger either. So Ramsey's been safely evacuated, and now I can pull Kanzar the Lion. I can pull Ramsey out and pull him back towards friendly forces. I could also bring on reinforcements here at this point. Now I decided I was going to put Carl right back to the base, that I'd have an escort or two at base. Not 100% sure whether any enemy reinforcements would come along, but it would be very embarrassing, should we say, at this stage of the game, if a couple of enemy reinforcements spawned there to the east and just marched directly into my base while I was down the southern end of the map playing footsie with the Batomys. I don't believe it would happen, but you could never be sure. Now, Frisia has not been able to do anything else, so I'm going to use her Ragnade to heal her up and bring her back to full health. That would make her a bit more versatile for future use. And she's not doing anything else, she might as well make use of the free heal. So we've pulled Frisia back, and now I want to put these two people into slightly better locations. So I'm going to pull Alicia back completely. Mostly because she also represents she's got the movement to come back out if I need her, and she represents a command point. Because if she goes down, I would lose a command point. I also have Marina forward, and I want to put her into a slightly better location as well. So with a bit more cover, I think. And do I use my remaining point? Yes, come on. Now, I could have used Marina to try and shoot Kanzar the Lionhearted, or whatever his name is. But I decided not to. That it was discretion was the better part of valor. It doesn't really matter whether he's alive or dead, as long as he's on that side of the Batomys. I can avoid him engaging him. Plus, we're not actually in a position to do anything with the Batomys yet. We need to get it to fire the gun. So the next stage, they have a ton of command points, and I'm going to rumble forward and I'm going to take the base. And I don't think they do anything else. We shall see. If the Galleons had any real field artillery, I mean, the Batomys would make almost a stationary target, like it'd be that slow. It's one of the reasons why historically they didn't build tanks like that. Super big, massive things, because they'd be just too easy a target for artillery. Even in World War One, things like the Big Willies, which weren't particularly big. I mean, they were big enough, but they were exceedingly slow. They 2 to 3, 4 or 5 kilometers an hour, I think, was their maximum speeds. And at that speed, they were vulnerable to artillery fire because it was possible to direct fire from a hidden battery onto them. Or even line of sight fire from a direct line of sight from artillery batteries would take them out as well, because they weren't armoured to survive a direct hit from artillery. I don't think in World War One they could have put an engine in something big enough to move something that was capable of taking a direct hit from artillery on land. Maybe a train, a locomotive engine, but I don't think there was any petrol or internal combustion engine that would have been powerful enough to drive something that was capable of surviving a direct hit from the field artillery of the period. Even the lighter 75s and stuff like that. Doing a bit of repositioning with the Edelweiss was probably not necessary. Might have been a waste of command points. I might have been better off leaving it where it was. I don't think it would have made a significant difference. I was wondering would it have been possible to bring it down the other side, but I don't think it's possible. That trench would just stop me. So the ruin wall has been demolished by the Batomys and the radiator is up. So there's my opportunity. Now I screw this up. Not completely, in that I don't fail to take the radiator out, but I completely screw up the actual business of doing it. First off, I decided I'm going to use Carl. He's the nearest guy. So Carl trots along, he's going down, and Valkyria just blasts him out of it. Because I was behind the trench, not in it. If I had ran down in the trench, the rubble and stuff in front of the trench would probably have saved my character. Or if I had done what I do now, which is go into the trench and then crouch along, I would probably also have saved the character. But as it stands, the way I did it, no. So I lose Carl, so that's a waste of a command point.
Don't you worry. I'll take care of it.
But I didn't, I suppose, really realise how devastatingly accurate she is with that thing. I then decide, well, let's see what happens if I shoot her, just out of curiosity. So there we go, pop, and bada 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 bada. It makes me wonder, though, I'm just thinking with the way that thing fires, if there are bigger, more powerful versions of that thing, like sort of mechanical versions, would that explain all the round holes in the walls and on the rocks in this vicinity, so that it wasn't maybe the Darsens that destroyed the city, but the Valkyrie? And maybe the history is not as people thought it was. Not having yet completed the game, I decided I wasn't going to go too far ahead of where I was in the videos, because I was starting to lose track of the ordering of the videos. That I don't know the answer to that question. It's a speculation on my part, but I suspect that the story as told the real story was a lot more complicated than the popular history or the popular mythology would suggest. So Alicia's going to sneak down, and we come down, so we're going to rescue Marina. Now I also screw up Alicia. I do actually manage to get Alicia to the Batomys, but I screw up everything from there on out. She runs out of movement points at this location, but that's okay. We have plenty of movement, and we still can't do anything with the Batomys until that last cooling tower is taken care of. And in some ways, there's a lot to be said for letting the Batomys shoot that wall and move up to the next wall, and then shoot the next wall, and then take care of the cooling tower, because just everything's closer, and it would actually cost me less command points. But this is where I screw up. I go up the wrong stairs. Now, it is possible to actually dump a grenade into that cooling tower from the wrong stairs, so to speak. But the problem is now that Alicia or scouts only get one grenade. To resupply her, I'd have to bring up an engineer. My last engineer passed out because he was the guy I decided to use first, so I don't have anybody to bring up to resupply Alicia. And I don't remember, or I don't realise, even though it says 0-0 on the screen in front of me, I don't realise that Alicia's only got a single grenade. So I actually waste time moving her around, moving her onto the rear, up the correct ladder, and sitting there looking at the damn radiator like a fool for about 2 minutes, wondering why I can't toss a grenade into it. Some evenings I am a little slow. But yes, there was kind of no excuse for it, and I was doing it all the time. Now I bring Alicia down off the ladder, and as far as I know I put her clear of the ladder. However, watch this. I'm not completely out of screw-ups just yet. So we have Frisia, Child of the Desert. So I trot her out, activate her. It's going to take her 2 command points to get down there as well, because she's starting from the same starting location as Alicia. Okay, I'm not going to be stopping. I managed to make it down through the trench without getting shot at by Silvaria. Get fairly close to Batomys. Do take a round from Kanzar. However, they're both now in the shelter of the... She's in the shelter of the Batomys from both of them. So we activate her again. We take her around. We get her up the ladder. Great, we're now in front of the right cooling tower. But you notice my descent is crossed out? Even though I could come up the ladder, Alicia's too close to the ladder to allow me to come back down. It's a pain in the ass. This means I can't evacuate Alicia. She's stuck up in the Batomys. That's okay, she won't die from being up at the Batomys. But at the same time, it is kind of a pain in the ass. So Maximilian gets all snotty about the destruction of his precious tank. And Silvaria's all attention to Maximilian. And of course, this is your clue. You can now shoot it. Now, she says she'll be there momentarily. She's right outside. She's just next to it. The scriptwriter should have really looked at that one a little bit more closely. So, Welkin commands everybody. Well, Welkin, there is no everybody. There's you and Yoko are the only 2 people left that can hurt the Batomys. Got that? You and Yoko. There's nobody else. Can't get Frisia off, so I'll ignore the situation, just leave her on it. We end the current action, and I think that's me out of actions. Or, no, I actually have more actions. Right. Now, I am going to take the chance momentarily to bring the Edelweiss into action. On the basis that if the radiators are gone, the front gun cannot work. Not entirely justified. It might still be able to fire a shot or something like that. I have no idea. But I was going to take the chance that if the gun isn't working in front, that I could put the Edelweiss safely in front of the tank. I wanted to try the shot from Yoko as well, just to see how much of an effect she'd have. Like, she has 2 more shots left. But as you can see, she doesn't do a huge amount of damage to the Batomys, and that the Edelweiss is probably the better bet for doing some serious damage to this tank, and probably the closer I am as well, the more effective the damage is. Now, the Edelweiss has done some damage there from range, but not a whole lot better, so I'd have been probably better off waiting to the end of my movement before I fired, rather than firing as soon as I could see or access the Batomys. If I fired from the end of the movement, I might have got a slightly bigger hit, but probably not by a whole lot, because I'm still not that close. So we activate the Edelweiss again, which will allow me to shoot again, and we get that bit closer, and we get tangled up in the terrain again. Silvaria's firing, which he seems to be doing no damage, which is a relief. Because if that yoke had hurt the Edelweiss, I would be in serious trouble. So I'm trying to pick a spot to fire. We do not a whole lot of damage, but we do some bit. And we bring the tank forward. Now it turns out those 2 tubes in what looks like the cowcatcher, the armoured skirts of the Batomys, can also fire. They're also guns. And they will fire and do a fair bit of damage to the Edelweiss. Now I'm going to put Yoko in a position where I can shoot the Batomys, preferably without Silvaria being able to shoot Yoko back. That was hardly worth it. Very little damage done there, and Yoko's out of movement, and she's got 1 shell left, but I don't know if it's worth using it. we're out of command points anyway, so I can't use it even if I wanted to. It's now the enemy's phase, and they get their go. So off they go. They get command points to burn, but they don't seem to have the ability to use it. As I said, one of those tubes turns out to be an anti-tank gun, and it's knocked a substantial amount of health off the Edelweiss. Things are getting rather tense. So off we go again. It's back to us. It's done its thing. We're fairly badly wounded, so we need to get out of the arc of these guns. Well, the two in front, I presume, don't have an arc. They're pointing a direction, or they're not. But we want to get out of their way anyway, and we want to get some flanking fire, because maybe we'll do more damage on a flanking shot than we will direct hit. And we do. We're on flank now. We're actually up against lesser armor, and it looks like we're doing more damage from the flanking shot. We're pretty much committed at this stage, so it's down to the wire. We might as well spend all the points we can shooting at the Batomys to the maximum effect. So we fire again, we do another bit of damage, but it's still got a substantial amount of health left. It's probably got as much health left as the Edelweiss has. And maybe even more health left than the Edelweiss has. So we get one last shot, we fire it down, and it's still got a nice piece of health. Now we don't know how much health, we don't know what the totals are, but we know that it's got a nice piece of health. And again and again and again, and this is the last round. I don't think we can do any more of this round. It's going to get a shot back, but we don't finish it off. It's only got a sliver of health left. 2 shots from a lance, maybe. I don't know. Maybe 1 shot from the Edelweiss. 2 definitely would do it. So the Batomys rumbles forward. It can move. Don't know if it can shoot the walls. Don't know if he can take the chance to shoot and see whether the tanks survive. I don't know what happens at this point, but it doesn't fire the forward gun, but it fires the rear gun at the Edelweiss. And by miracle of miracles, the Edelweiss survives. So Valkyria moves forward. She fires at Alicia. Alicia manages to evade the shot. Alicia shoots back, but it's against the Valkyria, so it's no effect. And Valkyria activates the second time, and she kills Alicia. And that's it. Now, I don't know, but I kind of have a suspicion that Valkyria would, if there's a galleon trooper within her line of sight that she could interact with or shoot at, that she will, she'll move. She'll use as many command points as needed to get rid of any trooper she's in line of sight of or she's aware of. So that's probably the last die roll, in that the Edelweiss is down to 35 hit points. Well, I can move it, and I can fire another shot, but it certainly won't survive. Probably wouldn't survive a hand grenade at this stage if the Imperial troops just wandered up and threw a hand grenade at it, so I have to take out the Batomys in this round. If I don't take out the Batomys, I probably will lose the game, because I don't have an engineer available to repair the Edelweiss right now. I should have had an engineer coming on last turn, and that would probably give me the option of restoring the Edelweiss back into operating condition. Off we go, point the gun at the side of the tank. That's it. Batomys' body is at 0. Still don't know how many hit points it had total, but the operation's complete. We've won. That's it. So there is a bit of an epilogue, alright, where it switches over to a kind of a cutscene, and you witness Valkyria covering the retreat of the Imperial forces and protecting Maximilian's retreat from the advancing galleons. However, I'll cover that next week. I don't really have the time, because again of my problems with uploading very long videos. That's pretty much it. That is the destruction of the Batomys. Victory for the galleons. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and a share. Feel free to comment. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you all soon. Bye for now.
Then it's our turn to advance. Don't let Maximilian get away.